Good morning and welcome to the 2019 Recognition Luncheon for the inductees of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Today is a special day on campus when we celebrate our traditions and reflect on our athletic heritage. Northwestern is thrilled to honor 4 outstanding Rangers today. Each has represented Northwestern with honor as student athletes, but more importantly, each has served as an exemplary example of what it means to be a Ranger through their service and their contributions. Our university's legacy is better because they chose to become Rangers. Today, we will look back to the 1930s with a young football star from Lamont. In those days, everybody had a nickname, and when your nickname included the word Flash, well, then you were probably something special. We'll move to the 1960s, when a transfer from the gunslinging town of Dodge City proved to be a real shootist on the Percival Fieldhouse basketball court. I was on campus as a student when a young man from Louisiana first stepped foot in Alvin. His smile lit up a room, but his moves on the court lit up a program. And finally, we moved to the not-so-distant past when a slugger from Ponca City combined breaking records with his love for Northwestern to become a Ranger favorite. So we'll begin our journey by starting today's program. The Northwestern Hall of Fame celebration is a collaborative effort of several different entities, including Northwestern, the Alumni Association, and the Northwestern Foundation. Each contributes significantly to the success of this event. At this time, I'd like to collectively recognize the staff and board members of the Alumni Association and Foundation by asking them to stand and asking you to give them your applause. I have the honor and privilege of working each day with some talented and dedicated individuals who comprise the senior administration at Northwestern. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce them to you. We'll hold our applause until all of them are introduced. Of course, our university president, who will be speaking later, Dr. Janet Cunningham and her husband Rick. Dr. Bo Hannaford, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. David Paikey, Vice President for Administration. Caleb Mossberg, Dean of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, and his wife, Callie. Dr. James Bell, Associate Vice President for Academics and Dean of the Faculty, and his wife, Carrie, back of the room. Brad Franz, our Director of Athletics. Myra Davison, Administrative Assistant to the President, and her husband, Ron. And Skeeter Bird, CEO of the Northwestern Foundation and Alumni Association. Let's thank them and give them a round of applause. I report to 2 Janets. One is the CEO of Northwestern, the other is the CEO of 703 4th Street here in Alva, so I want to recognize my wife, Janet, as well today. The leadership of our athletic program has never been stronger, and much of that credit has been earned by our athletic director, Brad Franz. Through his work, Northwestern has assembled an outstanding group of coaches, strengthened our ties with our supporters and fans, and served as an advocate for our student athletes. In this world, there are people that just try to make things better, and Brad Franz is one of those individuals. At this time, I would invite Brad to come forward for introductions of the athletic coaches and staff, along with our Sports Hall of Fame committee.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. There's been so many people before me that have led athletics, and I hope to just be a part of that great leadership team and on now and in the future. On behalf of the Athletic Department, the Hall of Fame Committee, and Rangers, I'd like to welcome you today to this great induction of the 2019 class of inductees. I'm so proud to represent the current Ranger student athletes, coaches, our university, past Rangers, and Rangers supporters such as you. Every day is a great day to be Rangers. I would like to introduce our Hall of Fame committee who puts in the time to select the Hall of Fame inductees, which is never an easy decision. Would you please stand when I recognize you, and we'll give them a round of applause when we're done. Milburn Barton, former Northwestern basketball coach, athletic director, and current Hall of Fame member. Dean Linder, former district judge and current Hall of Fame member. Joe Phillips, former Northwestern baseball coach and current Hall of Fame member. John Allen, director of alumni relations. Steve Valencia, associate vice president for university relations. Tim Lauderdale, associate athletic director and head golf coach. And Eric Scott, assistant director of athletics for communications. Let's give them a round of applause. Currently have a great group of current head coaches that are leading our Ranger sports. They help them in the classroom, on the field, and grow as young people. Not all of them are able to be here today as they're playing games, running track meets, or out on the road recruiting. I would like to introduce those who are in attendance now, along with our athletic administration. Ms. Sadia Jones, Associate Athletic Director for Compliance and Senior Women's Administrator. Tim Lauderdale, Associate Athletic Director for Internal Operations and Head Golf Coach. Eric Scott, Assistant Athletic Director for Athletic Communications. Matt Walter, Head Football Coach. Tasha Dieselhorst, Head Women's Basketball Coach. Sean Durden, Men's Basketball Coach. And Keith Ware, our Head Athletic Trainer. Let's give them a round of applause. From everyone in athletics, I want to thank our senior leadership led by Dr. Janet Cunningham. I would like to thank the excellent faculty and staff who assist Ranger Athletics move forward every day. Without all the support from every level, we would not have the chance to grow and challenge for championships in the classroom and in each sport in the Great American Conference. I personally want to thank you for the support each of you gives our programs and Northwestern as a fan, a booster, and community member. Finally, congratulations to our Hall of Fame inductees and to the current inductees here today. Howard Gautier, Kevin Robinson, Glen Piper, and Ryan Hintergardt stand for all of the great things Northwestern athletics is all about. All of you help pave the way for the great success that we have each day. Thank you.
Before we begin our meal, I would ask John Allen, Director of Alumni Relations for the Northwestern Foundation and Alumni Association, to offer the invocation and the blessing of our meal.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you today for this opportunity to honor 4 remarkable men and their accomplishments on the field and on the courts. We also thank you for the opportunity for Ranger Fellowship. Please bless us today. Bless the new conversations, bless the reunions, and bless the Ranger legacy. In the good name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, John. Today we have our traditional chicken fried steak buffet lunch for you, prepared by Chartwell's, our food service provider. We have 2 buffet lines in the back of the room. We'll invite our inductees to lead us off, and then we'll begin with tables at the front of the room and move our way to the back. Please enjoy your lunch. Each year, the Sports Hall of Fame is generously supported by 3 of our local banks. Each of these financial institutions go above and beyond in their support of Northwestern, our students, and our athletic teams, and we can't thank them enough. This year's sponsors include Alva State Bank, represented today by Chris Thomas and Matt Stratton. Chris and Matt, if you'd stand. Bank Central National Association, represented today by Kyle Huawei and his wife Trina. I think now Kyle's here. And Community Bank, represented today by Bank President Jay Randalls, who is here with his wife Jody, and Executive Vice President Ron Davison and his wife Myra. Please help us thank them each for their support of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. It seems hard to believe that Dr. Janet Cunningham is serving in her 13th year as president of Northwestern. Few can argue that her tenure has seen an unprecedented commitment to athletic excellence and improving the experience for every student athlete. It began with her launching the Vision for Victory campaign for athletics in 1997, a campaign that transformed our football and baseball stadiums and really set the tone for a myriad of improvements that we've made since then. There's been a renovation of Percival Fieldhouse, improvement of facilities for rodeo at the Campbell Complex, improved locker room and training facilities for softball and soccer, and most recently the addition of the Dunning Performance Center. With her support, Northwestern this year added women's track and field in its sports offerings. Many of these accomplishments have been privately supported, and that just doesn't happen if you don't have a president who is engaged and a president who is trusted. Perhaps more importantly, President Cunningham is a true Ranger fan. Just like our student athletes, she cherishes the victories, and she really does hate to lose. Our student athletes, our students in general, have no greater supporter than Dr. Janet Cunningham. Please help me welcome the president of Northwestern, Dr. Janet Cunningham.
My husband Rick just said, feed me now, feed me later, just feed me. So we're hoping that will occur here shortly. Let me begin by offering my congratulations to this year's inductees and their families. When you look at the accomplishments of each, not only as athletes, but in their professional lives as well, I think we can all agree they have enhanced the reputation of Northwestern. And I was privileged to be here and see at least two of them play when they were in their athletic competitions. Athletics really does play a very important role in the life of Northwestern. Provides a pathway for our student athletes to earn a college degree, while at the same time engaging in competition that can unite Rangers across America and the world. To this day, the strains of Ride Rangers Ride, the best song in the world, serve as a reminder of the common bonds we share. Our journey continues as members of the NCAA Division II and the Great American Conference. Each year we become more competitive, and I am confident we are going to move to a point where our teams compete for conference championships. Today, participation in postseason competition is not a distant dream, but an expectation. We have assembled a coaching staff that is leading us there, and I am pleased with their commitment to Northwestern, to our vision for intercollegiate athletics, and for the success of our student athletes. On Thursday night, our women's basketball team completed five straight wins on the road, which is the best in our NCAA experience. So I think we should have a round of applause. 1 week ago, our women's track and field team competed in its first meet as a Division II member and performed very well, taking third at a meet at Wichita State. The decision to start women's track and field provides more athletic opportunities for women and for local athletes, and we are excited for the future of this program. In rodeo, which is a non-NCAA sport, we continue to be one of the premier programs in the Central Plains region in both men's and women's competition. Competitors from Northwestern are now a fixture, very much a fixture, at the College National Finals Rodeo. And I certainly expect that to occur this June, when we will probably have 8 or 9 be eligible for that event. I'll close with 2 thoughts. First, I appreciate the long, grueling hours put in by our student athletes and coaches. Participating in a sport is a year-round endeavor, and we hold student athletes and coaches to a very high standard in the classroom, in competition, and in their conduct. Our inductees today are examples of this standard. I will always believe being a Ranger is a privilege and not a right. Finally, many in this room have for many years supported our athletic programs with your time, your cheers, and your financial support. Many of our athletic accomplishments would not have been close to being possible without the generosity we have received. So on behalf of our student athletes and coaches, let me say thank you. We have the best fans and the best supporters in America. Congratulations to our 4 inductees, and welcome to the most exclusive of clubs, the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you, and ride, Rangers, ride.
Thank you, President Cunningham. At this time, I'll invite Brad Franz back to the podium to come forward and present the recipient of our Hall of Fame scholarship.
The Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame Scholarship was established in 1999 by Dr. Randy Smith and his wife Mitzi. Dr. Smith received his bachelor's degree from Northwestern in 1975 and was a member of the Ranger baseball team. He later became Northwestern's baseball coach and athletic director. Northwestern inducted this first class in 1993. This scholarship honors a Northwestern student athlete who exhibits the highest levels of character, integrity, athletic, and academic performance. It continues the spirit of those who built a tradition of excellence for Ranger athletics. This year's recipient is Mr. Ben Ivory. Ben is a sophomore runner on the Northwestern cross-country team. In his sophomore year, he had an excellent season, besting many of his personal times. Cross-country head coach Jill Lancaster had this to say of Ben. Ben Ivory embodies excellence both as a runner on the course and as a student in the classroom. He is very supportive of his teammates and always leads by action. On the course, Ben was part of the 2017 U.S. Cross Country Association Academic All-American team, having over a 3.5 GPA. Ben's charisma brings the entire team together. His desire to push everyone to be the best on the course, in the classroom, but more importantly in their daily life, is appreciated by his teammates, coaches, and peers. Ben is a true Ranger. Ben is working toward a degree in agricultural education. He is president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. He is a Fellowship of Christian Athletes president and a member of the Baptist College Ministry Leadership Team. He has also been on the Vice President's Honor Roll multiple times. Upon completion of his degree at Northwestern, Ben plans to pursue the seminary and use his ag degree in the mission field. Today, Ben is joined by his parents and family members, Mr. Matt and Lisa Ivory of Marlow, Oklahoma. Ben, would you please step forward, and let's give a round of applause.
We're going to continue on with one more segment, and hopefully we'll be ready to eat. The Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame was created in 1992 and inducted its inaugural class in 1993. Before today, 95 Ranger greats and one team have been awarded the highest athletic honor given by Northwestern. Today, we are fortunate that a number of Hall of Fame members have returned to campus for today's events. I'd like to recognize them and ask them to stand or wave and ask you to hold your applause until we're complete. And hopefully this is one of those times where I'll actually get everybody in the room that needs to be introduced. One of the original 5 members of the Hall of Fame from 1993, Mr. Lloyd Stout. She was the first woman inducted into the Hall of Fame and part of the only father-daughter duo. We welcome basketball great Paula Stout Crandall. From the class of 1997, the Golden Gloves Southpaw champion, Dr. Jerry Brownrigg. Also from the class of 1997, a record holder in track and a football standout, Ron Pinker. There is only one voice of the Northwestern Rangers, and he is the judge, Dean Linder. One of the most prolific scorers in Ranger basketball history. Please welcome from the class of 2001, Jim Schrader. He won more basketball games than any coach in Northwestern history. Randy Smith also wanted me to remind you that he's lost more games than any coach in Northwestern history. Coach Wilbur Bark. 1,000-point scorer and 4-time defensive MVP. He is Reggie Clarke. From the same class, a legendary coach and AD, and the person who made this Hall of Fame a reality, Dr. Randy Smith. One of the true legends of Northwestern, from the class of 2006, Dr. Yvonne Carmichael. Also from the class of 2006, a 2-time All-Conference performer and a 6-time state championship coach, welcome Tommy Griffith. A 4-time All-Conference baseball player, he flirted with batting .400 as a senior, Mike Perkins. The all-time leader in victories and innings pitched from the class of 2015, Fred Schamberger. Baseball guys always grouped together in the back. A pair from the class of 2016, one of the school's legendary coaches, and he's still the master motivator, Dr. Steve Lohman. An all-time leader in wins as a baseball coach and a great slugger, and I do have to paraphrase that. Perkins and Schamberger says this all occurred when the bats were juiced, so. But here is Joe Phillips. The first softball player to be inducted, she owns almost every school record at the plate, Fallon Burns. He was at the podium last year, a 4-year starter at linebacker and a National Defensive Coach of the Year, Dr. Chandler Meade. We also have a couple of honorees from the only team to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Welcome national champions Fred Slaughter, Matt Walter, and Shannon Peterson. Let's give them all a huge round of applause. Did I miss anybody? All right. We also want to recognize a member of the Hall of Fame that we lost last year and honor the memory of Mike Mitchell. I know his wife Connie will be at the games today representing him, and we certainly all will miss Mike. 4 more Rangers will join to the group now as we present the 27th class of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Our first induction will be made posthumously and recognize one of the brightest stars of the 1930s, Howard Gautier. Gunky, as he was known, was a 2-sport athlete, but widely known as a talented halfback for the Rangers under legendary coach Mr. Newby. Newspapers of the day called him the backfield flash, but he was also known for his fierce blocking skills, for his teammates in the backfield, as well as being a hard-hitting lineman. During his time with the Rangers, he was the only player to earn all collegiate conference honors. He was also a guard on the Northwestern basketball team. After graduation from Northwestern in 1933, Goddard returned to his hometown of Ames to become principal, teacher, and coach at Ames High School. In 1936, he became the superintendent and served there until 1942, when he began another form of service by enlisting in the United States Army. Upon discharge, he went back to Ames and regained his role at the school. He coached the Ames girls to a 63-1 record from 1961 to 1963. They won a title in 1962 and lost in the finals the next season. Goddard is a member of the Oklahoma High School Girls Coaches Hall of Fame. The school gymnasium in Ames is named in his honor. He passed away at the age of 71 in 1981. He was married to the late Marie Goddard and is survived by his daughter, who will accept his induction on the family's behalf. Please welcome Dr. Gloria Goddard Mills.
Professor and former dean of the college at the Northwest campus at Tarrant County College in Northwest Fort Worth, of course. But more importantly, I'm a 1967 graduate of Northwestern State College, not the other name. And I'm the daughter of Howard Gautier, who you are meeting today through the phone. You've got some photographs I haven't seen, and they're wonderful. Thank you. It's a special privilege and honor for my father to be posthumously selected to join the Northwestern OSU Sports Hall of Fame. He is not here with us today as he passed away in 1981 after a 10-year battle with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, I'm struggling with Parkinson's now. Some days are a struggle, some days are easy, but I never forget what he went through when he had the disease. I'm sure he's looking down on us from above and would like to coach me on how I should present this material so that I don't fumble the ball, make some mistakes. My dad was a man of small stature, but he had the heart of a lion. And throughout his life, he influenced many people, teachers, students, coaches, and especially high school student athletes. My dad grew up in Lamont as a kid. He usually played the games that all boys play at that age. But one day he decided that he would jump through a window in a barn. He had put a ring on his middle finger. Why, I don't know. But anyway, when he jumped, the ring became tangled in a nail on the barn window. And when he got to the ground, he had a third of a finger left. It was this finger right here. So he played his life with a finger, 9 2/3 fingers, 9 1/3 fingers. My magic page on it is right. Okay. They didn't take him to the doctor because you didn't do that in those days. They just let it go. So consequently, pictures I've seen of him recently that I've been looking these things up, he has a stump there. But he's writing with his right hand with that stump there. And I'll go back to this in just a minute about some of the things that he did about that finger. He wanted to play football in high school. And he was looking for a lot of good things to happen there. But his dad said, no, you're not going to play football in high school. There's no counteracting what he wanted to do or what he wanted to say. So my dad and his mother conjured up a little scheme where he would come in Friday morning and tell his mother and dad where he was going to go that night. And they never included football, of course, but that's where he went. And it was a secret that they kept very quietly about at the house until the aunt and uncle came over to visit on an afternoon. And they said, Howard, you did this great job. Your running is wonderful, and you're scoring, and you're everything. You did a good job. And his dad looked like a thundercloud, of course, because he told him, no, you're not going to do that. And his dad relented a little bit, because his boy was doing his thing. He had a twin brother, my dad did, and another brother, and they were with him in all these escapes that he planned and did. And he was proud of all of them. Now, when Dad wanted to attend college, he didn't have a lot of money, if any. And you mentioned, Dr. Cunningham, you mentioned the money that was coming in. Well, he gave an interview to probably the Enid Morning News in 1974. And he gave credit to Northwestern for helping him to finish school. And I remember he said in this article that it was kind of tough, without the money to look forward to. But they gave him some jobs on campus to do, and he had little jobs to do that he made enough money to pay his bills. So that was good. Now, I need to clean up this name thing. He enrolled in Northwestern, and he was known as Gokie, G-O-K-I-E, or Goke, G-O-K-E, and that stayed with him for a long time because I would go to places with him and they'd say, hey, there's Goke over there, And I don't know where it came from, but it probably came from the business that they couldn't say Gautier. And that's not really the pronunciation, it's correct anyway. It's supposed to be Gautier, as far as Google says. Okay. But there were other variations of that along the way. I have some news clippings that my dad kept, and if you'll bear with me, I want to read a couple of them to you. These probably came out of the album, Courier. Is it okay? Okay. One of the titles, just to give you the heading on this one, Riley carries Rangers to win. Gainer Gautier runs away for touchdown. That's pretty neat to have your name in highlights when you're a kid, go to school. Now this was a story that came into the newspaper, and I don't know whether they would write this today like this or not, but it says, with a cud of his favorite tobacco in his mouth, and a football under his arm, probably without that finger too. Someone had better look out for Howard Gautier, that fast halfback that makes the opponents play fast to curtail his movements for the advancement of the ball when he is out on the field for the Rangers. Gokie, as he is called, to this Northwestern squad from Lamont. He moves like the wind, making a perfect running mate for his fellow halfback. He will be of great use this season in the pony backfield of the newbie men. And then finally this one. This one was written in the paper when he was summing up his career, but it was written by Brooks Bigwell, I think. Howard Gautier, backfield flash, is another who will be sorely missed when the season rolls around next year. This 145-pound back, is that interesting? I think, no, the back's bigger than that today, quite a bit bigger. This 145-pound back has been the chief offensive threat of the Rangers this season, as he has been since the first day he donned a set of cleats for Northwestern. For all his lack of poundage, this youngster is the hardest hitting lineman outside of Denny Dennis the squad has possessed in years. At the same time, he is a blocker of no mean ability and has assisted in more than one long dash of his teammates in the past. Though slight of build, Gautier apparently is indefatigable. I don't think I've even heard Terry Bradshaw say that on Sunday. Indefatigable. Okay. Think a moment about what that means. Here he was, a little guy, and he was running around the big guys. That made me feel so good, Okay. My dad was the only player from the Rangers who got those kudos that you mentioned a while ago. And he loved basketball. He dearly loved basketball. We talked a lot about football, but he loved basketball. And coached for about 40 years. Both high school basketball, boys and girls, and grade school basketball, boys and girls. He graduated from Northwestern and went to Ames to make his start. And he was there for about 40 years. That's a long time to stay in a place. But he loved it there, and he loved the people there. He got his master's degree at Phillips University and became the superintendent of Ames. He stayed in that position until about 1942 when he joined the Army. Now, he was too old to be drafted, so he didn't have to do that. But he said he had to do that in his own mind because many of his boys were being recruited for military service, and he didn't think that was right for him not to do the same thing. So he was gone until 1945, when he came back to Ames and was the superintendent of schools again the next year. He taught about everything he could teach, driver's ed. I remember having driver's ed lessons with him. Not fun. When he took the school bus and put us in the school bus and said, "You're going to drive it down this road." So we did. We drove it down the road. I drove that school bus better than I did the car. There's an interesting story that follows up the missing finger story. A bit confused. My dad had a player on his team that kept fumbling the ball over and over again. He kept fumbling the ball in practice. And so Dad said to the player, "How exactly are you holding the ball?" And he said, just like my dad had showed him, with the finger missing. So he had pulled down the finger, because Dad said when it was hold the ball like this. And of course there wasn't anything here but just a little dab. And the kid was trying to do that. Well, he said, "Well, you told me to do it like this." Well, he didn't realize that the finger wasn't there. So that was something they all chuckled about, then went back to him, I guess. During my younger years, my girls often got autograph books. And you go around and seek an autograph from everybody. So I asked my dad to give me an autograph. And he did, and he signed it for me and left me with this message. "When the one great score comes to mark against your name, he marks not that you won or lost, but how you played the game." And my dad played the game with enthusiasm, abandon, always looking ahead and keeping the goal line in sight. He inspired his players, teachers, coaches, friends, and me to do the same. He mentored a lot of people, two I'll mention in particular. Don Rickertoe, you remember Don Rickertoe? He was basketball coach at Ames, both boys and girls. And he took us to the state finals in 1962 and 1963, which wasn't really heard of in those days. And we won in 62. Won the state tournament in 62. Got to go over to Fairview for a luncheon with the Jacob Commerce. Dad got, Mr. Rickertoe got a car, all these good things. Then in 1963, we got beat in the finals of the state tournament. And every picture I have of that one is sometimes with eyes strained and crying and all that. But, 62 is a pretty good record these days. And so I felt congratulated by that. Now, the second person I want to mention is one of your own. He was ours first, Milburn Barton. Milburn, would you stand up, please? I need some company. Thank you. Milburn Ames was the only place he coached until he came to Northwestern. And Milburn was an athlete. He coached, and he also was good at school administration. I got to pull his material off the Google the other day, and I found out that he had, Ames was his first job. I was gone by then. I was coming up here to go to school, and we're over at Stillwater to finish it up. And he did a lot for those guys. They had an office in his office, and they couldn't very well get away from him. So he was proud of that. For 41 years, he worked as a team of wonderful teachers, including my mother, who always subscribed to excellence in the classroom while maintaining a feeling of camaraderie. He was proud of the athletics program, but was especially proud of the teaching and learning that was occurring during his leadership. My dad retired in 1974 with many good honors and wishes to his benefit. You've heard a little bit about that. And I will leave with this. Throughout his life, my dad played with enthusiastic abandon, always looking ahead and keeping the goal in sight. He inspired his players, teachers, coaches, friends, and me to do the same. I thank all of you for the opportunity to recognize and honor my dad. I also deeply appreciate your efforts to capture these memories for future generations. I especially respect and thank those who found the time and provided the support to make this honor a reality for my family and for my dad. Thank you. God bless you.
First time I've ever heard Milburn Barton and athlete used in the same sentence. He's going to get me, trust me, he's going to get me right now. There are some people, after you spend time with them, that you just know that are going to be successful in everything that they do. Our next inductee is one of those people. Ryan Hintergardt spent 14 years as a part of the Northwestern Athletic Department as a player, coach, and administrator. He was successful in all three of those roles. But more than anything, Ryan Hintergardt's a baseball player. Hintergardt played 5 positions for Coach Joe Phillips during his career, although he spent most of his time on the mound and at third base. By the time he graduated, the Ponca City native had rewritten the record books with 7 individual records. He saved his best year for last as he turned in a remarkable senior season in 1999 and was honored on a national level as an NAIA All-America Honorable Mention pick and the Red River Athletic Conference Player of the Year. He batted .386 with 10 home runs, 15 doubles, and 59 hits. He earned an 8-3 record on the mound with 78 strikeouts and just 70 innings of work. He was successful in the classroom as well. He was a baseball All-American Scholar athlete after earning a degree in health and physical education and receiving an Outstanding Senior Award. After a time in the private sector, he returned to Northwestern as Sports Information Director and was later promoted to Assistant Athletic Director. Since leaving the school, he has continued to be a strong supporter of Northwestern athletics, finding ways to give back at every opportunity. Hintergardt today calls Edmond home, where he lives with his wife, Christy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame, Ryan Hintergardt.
Good afternoon. First off, I want to say thank you to the 8 members of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame Committee. I appreciate all of your hard work and dedication for this great annual event. I also want to thank President Dr. Shannon Cunningham and the Northwestern Foundation Alumni Association for their support of the Sports Hall of Fame. Also, I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees on their successes in their respective sports. I'm very humbled and gracious for this honor. There are no words or emotions that can express the gratitude I have for being here today. I've been looking for them ever since I received a phone call from Coach Joe Phillips a couple months ago, and those words still haven't come to me, and I don't think they ever will. Alongside playing baseball, the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame weekend was one of my favorite events to attend each year. I always look forward to seeing all the past Ranger greats along with the stories of their careers. It is an honor to join many of the former coaches, athletic directors, bosses, instructors, and friends in the Hall of Fame. I can never imagine standing where I am now when I first signed on to play at Northwestern. While looking at colleges, there weren't a whole lot of them knocking down my door. I just wanted a few things: to get an education, play baseball, and also want to play, not sit on the bench. Believe it or not, Northwestern was the last place I wanted to attend. A rather large amount of my family, including my parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and cousins, had all attended school here, and I wanted to break that mold and be different. That all changed one day when Coach Phillips came to watch me play while playing American Legion baseball in the summer of 1995 in Ponca City. I remember that day pretty well. I was 1 for 3 with a fister that barely made it to the outfield grass and even threw a ball away at third base. It was just one of those days. After the game, my coach had told me that the coach from Northwestern was there and wanted to speak with me. The first thing I thought to myself, oh boy, what a great game for him to come to. I met with Coach and we talked a bit as he proceeded to tell me that he was impressed with my power at the plate by playing third base. I thought that was very ironic and started to wonder if we were even at the same game. He told me that I would start as a freshman, and that's all I needed to hear, as the rest is history, as I plan to sign with the Rangers a couple of weeks later. We won't talk about him forgetting the letter of intent, as I signed a blank piece of paper during the signing picture. Coach held true to his words as far as giving me playing time. During my freshman season, in our season opener, I got the pinch hit and reached base on a walk. In game 2, I picked up my first college hit. During the next few series, I went from being the DH to playing left and right field, the outfield being foreign territory to me, and then some games at third base and even pitching a bit. During my sophomore, junior, and senior seasons, I was able to move to my old stomping grounds at third base and get into the pitching rotation. During all 4 years, we improved upon the season before. We went from 9 wins my freshman year to 15 wins my sophomore year, 24 victories my junior year, and then we finished off 1999 with 31 wins. I thoroughly enjoyed each year I played, and I'm thankful to be a part of several teams that were able to improve our record each year. Sometime during my 2-year career as a graduate assistant coach, I specifically remember Coach saying, Hintergardt, in his usual tone, high-pitched tone, Hintergardt, you should do Valencia's job someday. I think we'd be good at it. Steve was sports information director at that time, as you know. I looked at Coach like that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard out of his mouth and said, Coach, there's no way I would do that job, and that was the end of that. We'll never say never. Well, about 6 months into my first real job after college, I received a few phone calls wanting me to come back and apply for the sports information director position that Steve Woodson was vacating, and it was going to become available for the spring semester of 2003. I didn't hesitate very long, and before you know it, I was backing out, this time until September of 2011. I really enjoyed working in the athletic department during those years. I got to work with some great coaches and watch firsthand some amazing athletic careers. Now I'd like to recognize and thank several people, SID student assistants, Jason Rhodes, Eric Scott, and Dustin Gidnap, who's standing over there, and Chris Johnson, all who put in quality time, late nights, and helped me over the weekends and on the free time. Angela Case, Fowler Case, and Lois Hudgens in public relations. Thank you for all the time you spent proofing, correcting my work, taking pictures for hundreds of athletic events, and all the other ways you helped out along the way. You won't find two better people that are more dedicated to their jobs at university more than the Case sisters. Cal Haggard and Janet Valencia, the print shop, those two always keep me in line with my printing needs and were always able to keep up and keep me in line when athletic schedules got crazy busy. Also, I want to thank Janet's husband, Steve, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to follow him as a school sports information director. He was instrumental in getting me set up and going once I was hired. Anytime I had a question or needed advice, Steve was always there for help. My high school coach, Lloyd Stout from Ponca City. I can't thank him enough for teaching me the values of hard work, dedication, loyalty, teamwork, persistence, competitiveness, how to be on time, and how to play as a team player, just to name a few. He did say to the entire team once, "You will run more than the track and cross country team." I can't say he was too far off. With 6 a.m. workouts 3 times a week, running before, during, and after practice and lifting weights, there was no question what hard work and dedication did for an individual, as I noticed them firsthand. These lessons and values I learned early on in athletics have been invaluable to me in everyday life as well. The athletic staff I worked with during my tenure as SID always treated me with respect and were always made available when I needed it. They made my job fun. It was a pleasure to work with all of them. I want to thank Milburn Barton and Bob Battisti, who served as athletic director and were my direct boss. Both of them are excellent men and great to work under. One thing I particularly enjoyed with all these coaches was when they would come in my office the morning following a game, and they would sit and visit with me. The conversations were always interesting. If they won, they talked about how good the team played and filled me in on certain individuals' performances. And if they lost, well, you never knew what kind of gripe session you were about to receive. The two most entertaining by far were Bob Battisti and Cody Hooper. Those two were numbers all month with. The next person is Todd Miller. He couldn't be here today. Whether it was as a broadcaster, co-worker, or as a great friend, Todd holds a special place in my heart as we have been friends since my early days at Northwestern. I first met Todd while he was the voice of Ranger baseball during my playing days. On any given day at Ranger Field, you were bound to look up behind home plate and find him in the freezing and the cold on an old fold-out table with his headset on calling the action. Not only was Todd friends with myself, but he also became close to my family who frequently attended games. After becoming the sports information director, Todd and I spent numerous hours together working hand in hand at each athletic event he broadcasted. We always enjoyed each other's company through our many hours of working together, being on road trips, or simply just being friends. I want to thank both Todd and his wife Mary Margaret for their endless time, effort, and investments to Northwestern to turn Meyer Stadium into arguably one of the best small school baseball stadiums in the country. Next is Jake Kellen. Is Jake here? He is. I bet he was late. Jake, I had the joy of playing next to him during his senior season while he was tearing up the shortstop position in 1998. He's one of the most talented baseball players I've ever witnessed play. It was during this time Jake and I became great friends, and since then we have shared a lot of good memories together. Jake, thank you for believing my idea was possible and helping me get the Ranger Dugout Club started more than 10 years ago after a 3-hour phone conversation from one side of town to the other. Another person associated with the Dugout Club is Matt Stratton. I don't know if Matt made it. He's there. Bye, Jake. Matt and I became friends during his 4-year career as a pitcher. He has stepped up and been instrumental in helping me with the Ranger Dugout Club after I moved away from Alva. I want to thank all of my former teammates, coaches, and players that I coached. Each one of you had an impact on my baseball career and my life. Baseball is a team sport. I could not have accomplished anything without all of you. I was fortunate enough to play with some amazing teammates and even better men. We spent many hours of every day around each other, and those teammates and coaches become a family. Whether it was spending time at breakfast, during class, lunch, practice, road trips, dinner, or antics in the dorm, you really get to know each other and develop lifelong relationships. These were some of the best times of my life. Now the man who was responsible for most of this, Coach Joe Phillips. Coach and I have spent a lot of time together ever since that day he signed me back in 1995. Not only was he my coach, my boss, my fellow coworker, but much more than that. He was a great friend and a second dad to many of us baseball players, and he always had our back, no matter what. I will never forget the road trips in 12 and 15 passenger vans pulling a trailer that was comprised of an old truck bed with a topper on it. The mystery minutes as we spent getting lost driving quite often, and the numerous other shenanigans that went on. I thought of the many stories I could tell today, but decided not to tell any. There were way too many to choose from, and I decided to keep those amongst ourselves. Coach and I have talked about the past, and we have both agreed we could write several books on the occasions. I can't thank you enough for everything you have done for myself and the hundreds of other baseball players' lives you have touched. You're one of the best men I know, and I consider you one of my dearest friends. Last page. I also want to thank the many members of both sides of my family that came today. It means a lot to have all of you here, and thank you for coming. I know there's a lot of you. If you guys would please stand up to get recognized. Not all at once. I want to point out my Uncle Hadley. Hadley, raise your hand. He also played baseball for 4 years for the Rangers. Some of my first memories of Northwestern were watching him playing in the annual alumni baseball game at Ranger Field. I want to thank my family who attended our games whenever they could, which was quite often. Sometimes they were about the only ones in attendance, bundled up, sitting out in the cold, watching us play. My late grandparents, Aunt Shelley Martin from Alva, Mom, Dad, and sister, made frequent visits to Ranger Field and other road games to cheer us on. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all the sacrifices you made to support me, the many miles driven and the many hours you put in. Thank you, Mom, for allowing me to take over the garage and work out and hit during the summer and winter breaks. And Dad, thank you for helping me build a mound in the backyard so I was able to continue to practice and pitch at the hay bales. You two always supported me, all the time from Little League through college and beyond. I would have never made it without you all, and I can't thank you enough. I also want to thank my sister for tagging along to my games and activities, and also for being there, so I have someone to pick on while we're growing up. She is already in the Sports Hall of Fame, as she served as the athletic trainer for the 1999 Ranger football team that was inducted as a team into the Hall of Fame in 2009. Last but not least, I want to thank my wife, Christy. She's the one that has to put up with me day in and day out. Thank you for always being there for me and being patient while I usually can't sit still and have way too many activities and projects going on all at once, and also for listening to the many Northwestern stories that have been told over and over. In closing, it's hard to believe in 3 days it's been exactly 20 years since I was taking the field in the first game of my senior season. Over the past couple of months, I've had so many great memories, emotions, and stories come back to life. The game's statistics and honors have faded, but the amazing friendships, relationships, and memories from my days in Alva have not. That is what I cherish most, and I will never forget. Alva is my home away from home, and always will be. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to the Ranger Nation, my Northwestern family, the community of Alva, and anyone else that has made this journey to this day one of the most memorable for me. This is truly a day I will never forget. Ride, Rangers, ride.
In the early 1960s, if Ranger basketball teams had played as many games as today's teams do, our next inductee would be a top 10 scorer and likely an All-American. A two-year star from 1960 to 1962, Glen Piper was one of the most prolific scorers in school history, averaging 21 points per game. Piper was the first ever high school All-American at Dodge City High School, where he is a member of their Ring of Honor. Universities across the country recruited him, but he chose to attend the University of Colorado as both a basketball and baseball player. When he transferred to Northwestern, he took the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference by storm. He averaged 20 points a game as a junior and earned all OIC honors. The Rangers finished that season with a 16-8 record, highlighted by beating eventual OIC champion Oklahoma Baptist. His senior year, Piper averaged 22.3 points per game, totaling 514 points, a single-season school record at that time. Piper's career high in a Northwestern uniform came against East Central when he poured in 33 points. Glenn, we're playing East Central today. I hope you're going to bring us a little bit of luck. Northwestern finished the 61-62 season with a record of 13-10. They earned back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in 12 years. After graduating with a degree in education in 1963 and obtaining his master's degree in 1969, Piper went on to a distinguished career as a teacher, coach, and administrator with 44 years of service in public education at the secondary and college level. In 1994, Northwestern honored him with an Outstanding Graduate Award in Education. Folks, there are only a handful of Rangers to ever receive an Outstanding Graduate Award and be inducted in the Sports Hall of Fame. We're going to add one more today. Please help us welcome our newest member of the Hall of Fame, Mr. Glen Piper.
You know, it's interesting about these things. I was told I have a 5 to 7 minute speech ready. Nobody else is adhered to that. But I'm going to just take a little different approach than most of them. I'm not going to have a speech. I'm going to share some ideas and concepts and things that happened to me while I was at Northwestern. And forgive me, I'm a diabetic, and it's getting close to mealtime. So if I fall on the floor, just step one and go on. First off, I want to introduce my wife, Donna. The last time I spoke at a convention, I forgot to mention her, and my silent partner wasn't silent going home. I share with you some ideas. I've gone the other avenue. I've gone from the big time down to the smaller schools. Bigger is not better. It depends on the individual. I left the University of Colorado. I had 20 Division I schools still working there. Basketball. I played East-West High School, American Game. I don't like to go through these things, but it gives you a little background. In 1 week at Dodge City High School, I had Foggy Allen, Ted Winter, Mr. Ivan Moe, some guy by the name of Abe Lemons from OCU, and Ralph Miller. Any of you ever heard those names before? They're all Hall of Fame NCAA coaches. And I mixed them up because I took the avenue I wanted to take. I wanted to play baseball and basketball, much like you did. I wanted to thrive. I was offered a contract out of high school as a pitcher by the Brooklyn Dodgers and also by the Chicago White Sox. But in those days, if you played pro in any sport, you couldn't play any other sports. So I decided to go to University of Colorado at the 12th hour. They weren't even in my top 5, but they agreed that I could play. So that was my avenue. My junior year, I got very disgruntled with the way things were going. We were going through a period of time in our history, which is not pleasant. In fact, it's changed our whole society. We went through things where our players, 2 of my teammates, Stan Williams and Billy Lewis, 2 outstanding young men, both African American. We played Texas Tech in 1958-59. They could not stay in the same motel. They could not eat with us. So what did I do? I packed my bag and I went to the YMCA with them. This is very important to me because I watched Coach do nothing. He did nothing to help those young men, and I feel very strongly about this issue. So I went from there, I quit school, dropped out of school, and went back to Dodge City. Boy, that's going back. But I share with you some thoughts here, because I went from there saying, nobody in my family has ever had any college degree. I don't need a college degree. I played athletics. That was my life. And you know what's ironic, guys? There were only 8 NBA teams at that time. You either made it or you didn't. No in between. The other alternative you had was the Industrial League, with Barberville, Caterpillar, and those teams. Or if you played what they call YMCA basketball, which is the AAU basketball. Now we have so many more options. So the whole platform has changed. And I want to share with you some things that are really important to me, because you can go down through a laundry list of what I've accomplished. It means nothing without putting it into perspective, because every one of you in here has a story to tell. And that story is very interesting and very moving for all of us. After I quit the University of Colorado, I got on a construction job. I wanted one of those high-dollar jobs for my future. They paid 80 cents an hour, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's where I was at, but I was happy. A guy by the name of Art Parkhurst, who had been the Dodge City football coach. Most of you know him here as a former football coach here. Knew my parents. My parents ran a tavern on Front Street in Dodge City. And Art came and got me off the job. He said, "You're going to college." I said, "The hell I am." He said, "You're going, Piper. You just wait." And he grabbed a hold of me and I said, "I'm going, Art. I'm going." That's how I came to Northwestern. A lot of people thought people paid big money to get me. No, they didn't. Art gave me the opportunity to get an education. I then turned to that family, and I get to the next one. When I first came to Northwestern, I worked as a busboy. I worked as a dishwasher. I worked as a waiter for people that I had high respect for. It was called Joyce's Cafe, the Beeler family. They adopted me. And so my scholarship, I couldn't get one because I dropped out of school. I didn't quit. I just walked away. Nobody told me you had to withdraw. Believe me, baby, I found out the hard way. 12 hours F on that transcript. Every job I ever applied for, I had to tell them how it happened and why. Now, if that isn't a hard way to learn, something's wrong. But it also shows you my mentality, moronic, imbecile, those type of things. But from there, I also found out I had a bank account. I don't know where it came from, but I do know where the bank was. They loaned me $500. That $500 paid my room and board. Only problem is, I didn't get the board. I got it at Joyce's Cafe. I did a busboy, I took orders, and I did those things for my meals. The boy was in a saver. At the end of the first semester, I was not supposed to be able to play until after January 1. That was it. NAIA rules at that time. We were down at OBU, of all places, in a motel. I went with the team during Christmas vacation. And believe me, folks, I was having fun. I had 6 of the best cream puffs you've ever had in your life because the bakery was in the bottom part of the hotel. Art breaks in and says, Piper, come on, you can play. You've been approved. He said, you had a 3.3. Great one. I said, good. Thank God. So I went out to the ball gymnasium, the old armory, if any of you remember those days. Schrader, I know you do. They had a coach by the name of Bob Bass. You ever heard of him? Bob was the Phoenix Sun coach. He started at OBU. I didn't have any tennis shoes. I didn't have knee boots. So I had to borrow from Bob Bass. I didn't have a uniform. One of the greatest kindness ever been afforded to me. The kid by the name of Peterson, team. Keep him out of home. He said, Piper, take my uniform. And I want to tell you the story of Benny. Benny didn't get to play all over. Benny was a bench warmer. He was willing to give me his uniform so I could play. I did not get to play any of the first half. Zip. Which is rightfully so. Second half, I went into the game. I was 11 for 11 from the field and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Bob Bass said, "The hell with you, Piper. I'm never going to loan you another thing." That act of kindness has always been right here. Not everyone will give up their uniform for somebody else. My first 3 days of practice at Northwestern, I was kicked out of the gym. How's that? I was told that I was too aggressive. I was told that I was a hot dog because I went through my legs behind my back in 1957, 58. I had a fadeaway and a glide. You weren't supposed to shoot those shots. Those were terrible shots. Now I see guys jacking up to the half court line. Whoa! Rebound! Let me just go real closer. You get the rebound, you pass out, you get to about half court line, you have to come around to the back. Because you never get into the top. But basketball's changed so much, so I was elected in that. I want to show you some thoughts. I went through the era of evolution of basketball. When I first started playing 6 feet wide in keyboard, the second thing about it was, there was no 3-point. No 3-point. There was a jump ball after every quarter. After every quarter, we had someone who could jump. By the way, there's 3 levels of jumping. There's 38 below vertical. That's known as normal. From 38 to 42, you're known as a jumper. And from 42 up, you're known as a leaper. I wasn't any of those. You could run a piece of paper under my feet. That's about it. And I enjoyed the game. When I got to Northwestern, it changed my life. I went from the end of the world to the city. I started playing the games that I loved and I enjoyed. And I started watching myself change. Just started enjoying life. Just recognize it. But anyway, when you get down to it, these are the things that we talk about. These are the things that I read. I didn't tell you after my career here, I went on. Everybody said, what happened? I don't talk much about myself. I was running at that time to the St. Louis Hawks for a trial. I had a great NAA tournament. I was a player of the NAA tournament 2 years. I made the tournament team, and we had a great national tournament. And they we were playing Eastern in the junior college regional over in Tulsa. We were up 56-55. They threw the ball in, and I said, let him know to keep catching the ball as we throw it back over his head. 45 feet. And guess what? Shoot. I said, this time you get out of coaching practice. Again, these are the things that mean something to me. But I share with you, I want to bring up one other thing. You have to do it. You have to do it. Having been a superintendent for 20-some years, having been in the police program, I have been in the highest respect for the Northwestern graduate program educators. From Colorado, from Western Kansas, Oklahoma, to New Mexico. And they said they were the Northwestern people listening because they were well prepared, they were passionate, they were happy, involved. So you can see why it means so much to me to do it over this time. When I talked to Bryan, I said, I don't know how long I can do all those ones I can. And what I share with you, there's so many people that I don't do that. I will tell you this. The heart strings are very warm out there. They feel the influence of everybody else. And Tommy, it's good to see you. That's Jeff. I haven't seen you in years. Share with you. He said, I'm sure Griffith and Hintergardt, I'm sure the same thing. But it shows you the important role that you play. And I have one sound of that, how long it is. Each day of the day. These guys up here, I'm going to give you all the shit. We both understand. But I would tell you the last thing to finish saying, the only thing I ever had happen to me that really embarrassed me, we played the University of Missouri out of Colorado, and they announced the starting lineup. The Antlers Club, what did we have there? Two of the Bushrang out on the floor, you know, comb your hair, Piper! I thank you very much.
Kevin, you've been in more pressure situations than anybody I can ever imagine on the basketball court, but I can't imagine the pressure you're feeling right now knowing that you're the only thing standing between us and lunch. Kevin Robinson spent 6 seasons playing for Coach Bob Battisti, and folks, any human being that survived 6 years deserves to be in our Hall of Fame. But Kevin deserves to be in our Hall of Fame for so many more reasons. He arrived on campus in 1987 from Lafayette, Louisiana, and spent his first year as a redshirt. When he finally earned his chance, he shined. Robinson scored 1,232 career points, became the 10th Ranger player to enter the 1,000-point club. He averaged 12.2 points a game in 101 games played in a Ranger uniform. And if you needed a three-pointer, he was the man. He set the record with 144 of them during his career. In his final season, after being granted a medical hardship, Robinson led the 1992-93 team to the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference Championship and a top 10 appearance in the NAIA national rankings. That season, he scored 16.8 points per game and was an honorable mention All-American. Twice in his career, he earned all OIC honors. Today, Robinson is an educator in the Dallas Independent School District as a 6th grade teacher and basketball coach. Not only is he an outstanding coach, but Robinson has been recognized for his work with students in the classroom. He has twice been named Teacher of the Year at his school and is a 3-time Distinguished Teacher Award recipient. He has founded Total Basketball Development, a development program for athletes ages 7 through 19, located in Dallas. He resides in Garland, Texas with his wife Alethea and their son Bryce. Please join us in welcoming our newest member to the Hall of Fame, inductee Kevin Robinson.
It's going to be short, I promise. I don't have a speech. I just kind of have some things I've jotted down to make sure I didn't forget some of the things I need to say. And I promised Reggie that I wouldn't cry. But when you think about Northwestern and this is a great time for it, it's just the things that I got from Northwestern, I can never explain enough. I came to Northwestern at a time when I needed to be here. Coming from Lafayette, Louisiana, it's not, you don't get a whole lot of people to succeed. And like Coach was saying, I'm one of the first ones to graduate college, play college sports, and my immediate family, my whole family, so we didn't really have those opportunities. So when I got a chance to talk to Coach Bryan, and he came out to see me play one day, and I was just like, oh man, even my teammates at my school were like, it's a college here, you know? And we felt like that was Duke, that's Kentucky, this is huge for us. And that's just where I took it from day one. And after I talked to him and he agreed to give me this opportunity, that's how I treated it. I was like, man, I'm going to a program. I'm not going to a basketball team. I'm going to a basketball program. And that was my biggest goal, just to continue to play basketball. School, only thing I cared about school was they said, you fail, you're coming back home. So I knew I had to make the grades. But that's what I mean by being in the right place at the right time. I was surrounded by people that made you succeed. It was no option. If you did it wrong, they made sure you got it going in the right direction. And my biggest thing, like I tell my son now, he's going to Texas Tech to play football next year. And this is the perfect time because I keep telling him, I tell him a lot of things, I talk to him a lot, even the players that I train, but life teaches you. And some of the stuff that I tell them and some of the stuff you're going to hear tonight, boy, if you knew me back when I was here, that's not my way I was thinking. I didn't have those kind of thoughts. I thought when I first came here, I'm coming to college, I'm coming to play basketball, and I am the man. I use a different word then, but that's how I look at it. But, playing with in this program, with these coaches, Coach Batiste, and the reason we felt that way is because of the way they treated us. They treated us like we were big time. The program was a big time program. The coaches coached us in that way. They expected a lot out of us. And every single day, I would practice and I thought I was doing really, really good and I was doing well. But they mentioned Coach Batiste. Coach Batiste found a way to make sure that you did well that day, but we got another day coming. And he always found a way to break you down, build you back up. Coach Franz, I appreciate him so much because he gave me the opportunity. I told him, I said, it's not really a whole lot of opportunities here. They don't really recruit here a whole lot. He said, Kevin, I'll give you a chance. So I got here and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I was in high school and I was a man. I was doing everything I wanted to do in Louisiana. I'm coming to this program. I'm going to be the man at Northwestern. I'm going to take this program and I'm going to make this program big and I'm just going to show everybody at home. Because my biggest thing was, my mom took a chance, dad took a chance, my parents. They didn't know anything about Northwestern. They drove me here. They dropped me off with people that they don't know nothing about. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh, I cannot disappoint these people. So my whole time here was all about just not disappointing the people that gave me the opportunity. And back to my thing is life teaches. If I was said this 20 years ago, I would have been up here saying, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. This is me. This is what I work for, this and that. But really, I'm here because of a lot of people. So first of all, I thank God for putting me in this situation. I'm not really a holy type of person, but I've been through some things in life. Life teaches you. You need it, and he guides you in the direction even when you know that, when you don't know he's guiding you. And he brought me here to be amongst these people, and with this school is giving me so much. I tell people now, I tell my son, it's not, he's going through this, what he's done now. They're going through his classmates are going through things where they're trying to sign for football scholarships and this and that. And I keep telling them, man, some of your friends, they just need to they got to go where they feel good at, where they feel that they care about them. I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm a perfect example of that, man, because the school I went to, they cared about me, they showed me the way, and when all my other friends were going to Kentucky, and they were going to Duke, and they were going to North Carolina. Oh yeah, when I went back home, guess what? I played with those same kids, and I played better than those same kids, because I came from a program that made you work. You have to work for everything that you got. And then I had players that were with me that made you work, because they felt the same way I felt. They were the best too, and that's why we did so well. Like I said, my coaches, Coach Battisti, I can't thank him enough because he put up with so much. And when I look back at it now, I can just see him and Coach Bryan, they just on their spare time, they just laughing. Oh, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that, he just don't know that kid, that, you know. And then the news came, oh, I got a red shirt. Oh, red shirt. And back then, red shirt was like you don't get a red shirt. This days, you hope for a red shirt. But, again, the God is to get there. They knew what they were doing. I'm mad at them because that's why I came here. This is what the promise was. But why should we play you when you got this senior that's in front of you, this senior that's in front of you? You're not going to play. You're just going to waste a year not knowing that they did. No, they're not. So I have to thank them for making that decision for me. And then I called home and Mom, no, this is it, this is that. No, I need to come home because that's not. And first thing she said was, nope, you committed to that. You're going to stay your butt there. You're going to get your education. You're going to play that. So I thank them for that. The friends I've met at Northwestern, man, they go so far back, so far back. From the time I left here, I made so many friends, and I'm still friends with these people today. I look back at some of the alumni from the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame, and like I told Reggie when he came in, I said, I'm here because of you, because of him, because of Dustin Miller, Willie Tennyson, Slade Young, all those people. That's who made me. And as much as I thought I loved the game and loved to play and loved to compete, I got around a group of guys that loved it just as much as I did, and that just made it so much better, so much easier, so much fun. And I tell my son all the time, I always relate to him because he's at a time right now where this is perfect, because he needs to hear this. He's about to go off. His coaches will tell him, oh, you did a great job raising, y'all did such a great job raising myself. Yeah, it's easy to tell that he's under my roof. Wait till he goes to college next year, then I will see exactly how it went. So it's all about that. And then you go back and you kind of reflect on some of the things as life teaches you. You look back and you're like, oh man, if I didn't go through that, oh man, if I didn't go through that. And now with this college thing going on, it's like, man, I was so blessed to be here. I was so blessed to have this opportunity. And then we came in last night, the first thing I did was want to drive around, and I just felt so proud of like, man, this is my school. And this is the school that made me. Because right now what we're going through is, we take him everywhere. He went to Oklahoma State, he went to Baylor, he went to all these colleges visiting. And as a parent, you're on the other side of that. And then to drive up and to see, oh man, oof, this is where I did that. This is where I became a man. This is where people took me and shaped me. I'm a holder. But you don't get a chance to reflect on those things until you have moments like this. And then I'm listening to everybody talk, and I'm like, man, they felt the same way I felt. Man, I'm not the only one. You know, they have the same kind of coaches. Even back in the 30s, it was like this. And so now to see this and to be in front of this, and actually when Coach Ryan first called me, I'm like, okay, Coach, yeah, I'll be there, sure. And then I got the phone, I'm like, do I deserve this? What did I, let me not say nothing just yet. Let me make sure he didn't call me back and say, well, no, this is something else. My man, he's on the wrong list or something like that. So I waited a little while, and then once I started, and as soon as that happened, you start thinking about, oh man, this person, these people. So these are the people that I don't want to forget. My biggest thing, and I took this from the model, and what's funny about it, when I look behind me and I see it, in my classrooms, what I would do is, my motto across my classroom is learn today, lead tomorrow. And I get it from here. And taking that with me and using that as a model to drive me, you forget where you get it from. And then you step up on campus and then you look behind you, you see the model, and it's like, man, that's where I got that from. So a lot of the things that I am today, a lot of the reasons that I am what I am today is because of Northwestern. This Hall of Fame honor, this privilege is because of the people at Northwestern that has guided me to this point. I've always loved the game of basketball, and I was telling my family, I said, it's hard for kids in college these days to fail. We didn't have those opportunities. You was almost on your own. But at the time, we had study hall. And I'm going to share a quick story about how times have changed. And one moment that really changed how I thought about school and everything else. We had study hall. We had to get study hall Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9. And in college, you really don't want to do a whole lot of study unless you have to study. So we had study hall, but coaches are like, okay, you're going to study hall because you got to get your grades, you got to make sure you're doing this, you got to make sure you're doing that. So we're college kids. I'm a freshman. So I'm playing, I'm hanging out with guys that probably don't care about as much of their education as we should. So when coaches are walking around, we all acting like we're studying. They pass by, we all playing it out for 2 hours. So then one day I go to one of my friends, Patrick Haggard from Baytown, Texas. He's in his room, he's closing the library, he's studying, he's doing things. So I'm walking over there, Pat, what's wrong with you, man? I can't even study. What's wrong with you? Everybody having fun with studying. So he looked at me and said, K-Rock, we have to get from 7 to 9. I might as well study anyway. And guess what? Once I'm finished studying from 7 to 9, I'm done. I can go hang out with y'all and everybody else. And they hadn't done anything yet. And guess what? Patrick Haggard got his degree from me. That day changed it. Next time I was in study hall, I was making everybody get away from me. Get away from me because I need to study because that's why I'm here. But going through that, life teaches you. And I'm glad I came through this university because the things I've learned here, the time I spent here, the people I've met here, all that I've grown, and that helps me with raising my son. That helps me with my marriage. And my wife will tell you, I'm not the easiest person to live with because we're competitors in our family. She's a track star, my son's a football star, I play basketball. So everything is competitive. It's always competitive, and we're strong people. We all have our strong minds. So a lot of times I may agree to one thing, they don't. So I appreciate them for always being there for me, understanding me. And this day really helps them to understand me a whole lot more. Because now it's people that are just like, oh, that's where he gets that from. So that's a good thing. And it's a good thing. So, and then in closing, I just want to make sure I thank all the committee, all the people that had a part in just recognizing me. Being here is still unbelievable. Just to be mentioned that you were thought about being inducted into this is great to me. So I really thank everybody for this humbling honor. And I appreciate the committee. I appreciate my friends, my teammates. I appreciate everybody that remembered me from way back then. And Dr. Cunningham, when she said she was here and she was playing, some of us playing, I was like, oh, I remember. She was one of the, every time we played, after the game, she had something to tell us about everything that we did. So those things are what matters. And guess what I do today? After my son's game, I have something to tell them about everything that comes from somewhere. My wife says, oh, you always coaching, you always fussing, you always fussing. It's not fussing, you're not listening to the words. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I said, you think that's fussing? You should have been with Coach Peterson. So, and people say, you teach the way you were taught, you coach the way you were coached. And the reason I do that is not because I choose to be that way, it's instilled in me that way. And I know it works. And in closing, we were 2 days ago, Wednesday, was National Football Signing Day. So I'm at my son's school, and there's 4 players that have signed to come to Northwestern. Then I go to the district, when the district had a big signing thing for recognizing all the kids that were signed. There was 7 players that were coming to Northwestern. One of the coaches at South Bronx, his name is Dominique Parker. Dominique Parker came to Northwestern. So I looked at Dominique, I walked up to him, I said, Dominique, I keep trying to tell them Northwestern is a good school, but they don't understand. He said, man, I tell them too. He said, they starting to understand. I said, I know, I see it. I said, guess what, Dominique? I'll be going back this weekend. I said, I'm going to visit, man, and hang out with them for a little while. I said, what you going back for? I said, man, you already got this Hall of Fame induction thing going on, man. So he was like, well, so who they inducted this year? I said, me.
Just another great day to be a Ranger. There are 2 symbols of the Hall of Fame presented to each inductee. The first is a beautiful handcrafted plaque representing our Ranger heritage with the outline of the horse and rider symbol. And we want to offer our thanks to David and Emily Boland for their craftsmanship and labor in producing the plaques. The inductees will be formally presented their plaques at ceremonies later at Percival Fieldhouse. The other symbol is a one-of-a-kind redesigned Hall of Fame watch. And we are pleased to present each inductee with this symbol of their induction.
Welcome you to our Hall of Fame activities. The Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame was created in 1992 and inducted its inaugural class in 1993. Before today, 95 Ranger greats and 1 Northwestern team have been awarded the highest athletic honor given by Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Today, we're fortunate that a number of Hall of Fame members have returned to campus for today's events. We welcome them back home and honor their contributions to our athletic heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, he was one of the original 5 members of the Hall of Fame from the class of 1993. Please welcome the legendary Lloyd Stout. She was the first woman inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995 and is part of the only father-daughter duo in the Hall. Here today is basketball great Paula Stout Crandall. One of the most prolific scorers in Ranger basketball history. Please welcome from the class of 2001, Jim Schrader. He is the winningest basketball coach in Ranger history. Here's Hall of Famer Milburn Barton. He is a member of the 1,000-Point Club and a 4-time defensive most valuable player. Welcome, Reggie Clarke. A legendary coach and athletic director, and the person who made this Hall of Fame a reality. From the class of 2005, please welcome Dr. Randy Smith. One of the true legends of Northwestern, a national figure in aquatics from the class of 2006, Dr. Yvonne Carmichael. Also, from that 2006 class, a 2-time all-conference performer and 6-time state champion coach, Tommy Griffith. Today, we also honor a member of the Hall of Fame that we lost last year, representing basketball star Mike Mitchell. Please welcome his wife, Connie Mitchell. From the class of 2011, he was one of the all-time best wide receivers. Please welcome, straight from the record book, Jason Bryan. The all-time leader in victories and innings pitched from the class of 2015. Please welcome baseball great Fred Shamburg. A pair from 2016, one of the school's legendary coaches and still a master motivator. Please welcome Dr. Steve Loman. And the all-time leader in wins as a baseball coach and one of the best sluggers ever at Northwestern. Please welcome Coach Joe Phillips. The very first softball player to be inducted. She owns almost every record the school has. Here is Fallon Burns. A 4-year starter at linebacker and a National Defensive Coach of the Year. Please welcome Hall of Famer Dr. Chandler Meade. One of the greats from the Northwestern baseball diamond. Please welcome Hall of Famer Mike Perkins. A star of both track and field and football. Please welcome Hall of Famer Ron Pinker. Ladies and gentlemen, one more more time, let's say thank you to the members of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a weekend for Ranger legends. And this afternoon, we officially induct 4 of our finest as the 27th class of the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. To welcome our new inductees, please welcome to center court Athletic Director, Mr. Brad Franz, and the one and only voice of the Rangers, and a member of the Hall of Fame class from 1998, Judge Dean Linder. Our first induction will be made posthumously and recognizes one of the brightest stars of the 1930s, Mr. Howard Gautier. Gunky, as he was known, was a two-sport athlete, but more widely known as a talented halfback for the Rangers. Newspapers of the day called him the backfield flash, but he was also known for his fierce blocking skills for his teammates, as well as being a hard-hitting lineman. During his time with the Rangers, he was the only player to earn all collegiate conference honors, and he was also a guard on the Northwestern basketball team. After graduation from Northwestern, Gautier returned to his home of Ames, Oklahoma, to become principal, teacher, and coach at Ames High School. He became the superintendent and served until 1942, when he enlisted in the Army. Following his service, he went back to Ames, regaining his role at the school. He coached the Ames girls to a 63-1 record from 1961 to 1963. His team won a title in 1962 and lost in the finals the following year. Gautier is a member of the Oklahoma High School Girls Coaches Hall of Fame, and the school gymnasium in Ames was named in his honor. Gautier passed away at the age of 71 in 1981. Accepting his induction on his family's behalf is his daughter, Dr. Gloria Gautier Mills. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Gautier. Our next inductee to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame is Ryan Hintergardt. Ryan spent 14 years as a part of the Northwestern Athletic Department as a player, coach, and administrator, and he was successful in all 3 roles, but more than anything, he was a baseball star. Hintergardt played 5 positions for Coach Phillips during his career, although he spent more time on the mound and at third base. By the time he graduated, the Ponca City native had rewritten the record books, holding 7 individual records. He saved his best for last as he turned in a remarkable senior season in 1999 and was honored on the national level as an NAIA All-American Honorable Mention and the Red River Athletic Conference Player of the Year. He batted .386 with 10 home runs, 15 doubles, and 59 hits. He earned an 8-3 record on the mound with 78 strikeouts and just 70 innings of work. He was successful in the classroom as well, as he was named the NAIA Baseball All-American Scholar Athlete in 1999, after earning his degree in health and physical education and receiving the Outstanding Senior Award. After a time in the private sector, he returned to Northwestern as the Sports Information Director and was later promoted to Assistant Athletic Director. He continues to be a strong supporter of Northwestern athletics, finding ways to give back at every opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Hall of Fame, Ryan Hintergardt. Our next inductee is a 2-year basketball star from 1960 to 62. Glen Piper was one of the most prolific scorers in school history, averaging 21 points a game. Piper was the first ever high school All-American at Dodge City High School, where he's a member of the Ring of Honor. Universities across the country recruited him, but he chose to attend the University of Colorado as both a basketball and baseball player. When he transferred to Northwestern, he took the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference by storm. He averaged 20 points a game as a junior and earned all OIC honors. His senior year, Piper averaged 22.3 points a game and totaled 514 points, a single-season school record at the time. Piper's career high in a Northwestern uniform came against East Central when he poured in 33 points in a single game. Northwestern finished the 61-62 campaign with a record of 13-10, earning back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in 12 years. After graduating with a bachelor's degree in education and a master's degree, Piper went on to a distinguished career as a teacher, coach, and administrator with 44 years of service in public education at the secondary and collegiate levels. In 1994, Northwestern honored him with the Outstanding Graduate Award in Education. There are only a handful of Rangers to have ever received an Outstanding Graduate Award and an induction into the Sports Hall of Fame. Today, we add one more. Please welcome Mr. Glen Piper to the Northwestern Sports Hall of Fame. Our final inductee of the afternoon is Kevin Robinson. Kevin spent 6 seasons playing for Coach Bob Battisti. He arrived on campus in 1987 from Lafayette, Louisiana, and spent his first year as a redshirt. When he finally earned his chance to play, he shined. Robinson scored 1,232 career points to become the 10th Ranger player to enter the 1,000-point club. He averaged 12.2 points a game in 101 games played during his Ranger career, and if you needed a tray, he was the man as he set the record with 144 three-pointers in his career. In his final season, after being granted a medical hardship, Robinson led the 92-93 Rangers to the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Conference Championship and a top 10 appearance in the NAIA national rankings. That season, he scored 16.8 points a game and was an honorable mention All-American. Twice in his career, he earned all OIC honors. Today, Robinson is an educator in the Dallas Independent School District as a 6th grade basketball coach. He's twice been named the Teacher of the Year at his school and is a 3-time Distinguished Teacher Award recipient. He founded Total Basketball Development, a development program for athletes ages 7 to 19 located in Dallas, Texas. Please welcome us in joining our newest Hall of Fame inductee, Kevin Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, on on behalf of Northwestern Oklahoma State University, we proudly present the 27th class of Northwestern Hall of Fame inductees.